Alright, hey, how's your day going? Um, I'm recording this right after another video, so if my voice sounds a little weak, that's why. Um, but I thought I'd talk today about the two times that I can remember that I got into a fight, and they were pretty embarrassing times because, well, I'm a really skinny kid and I don't got much weight on me, and I'm a really shitty fighter, you know? So these two times, it's not a nice revisit or a memory, so, anyways, so it was in like third grade the first time this happened to me, and this kid, well, I was in like a morning care place because my mom had to leave for work super early, and like didn't have anyone to watch me, so she put me in like this morning care place across from the school that I went to. Are you fucking kidding me? Anyways, so sorry, my game just crashed. So, anyways, this this kid that was there was like, I don't know, doing something, and I was just like, I guess I was just pissing him off in a way because I remember, like, the first thing he does is like he rips my hand away and just starts kicking me and punching me, and like I said, I was a pretty shitty fighter, so I didn't exactly like. I didn't do very well, but now that I look back on it, I actually like I'd say that I won the fight because like I remember like shoving him into a table and punching him a bunch of times, which like I said, I'm not a very strong kid. Those punches didn't do jack shit, I bet. But this kid, like, he's like kicking me and punching me. And I noticed like he's got a scratch on his face because like the table was rough that I shoved him into, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's a nice little mark. And but after that, I remember like the person that was there was like, all right, you're both gonna time out for 1 hour because I was still in like third grade. And but that's the first time that I've ever gotten into a fight, and it was, a pretty shitty memory, not one that I like to remember. But the second one was even more embarrassing because, well, I did not win this fight at all, and it was between a kid that was like three or like I don't know, like maybe like 12, not 12, like 5 inches shorter than me, but he was 2 years older than me. Like he stayed back a couple of years because he had special needs, I guess, but he was like older and stronger than me. I remember one day we were like in line to like go to lunch, and it was like, oh, if you buy your lunch here, stand in this part of the line, and if you didn't, stand in this part. And I did bring a lunch, or I didn't have a lunch. Like I didn't bring one, and I wasn't planning to get one, so I just stood like anywhere. And this kid decided, he was gonna lay down the law. He's gonna be like, oh, hey, you gotta sit here. And I'm like, no, I don't. And then he like I think I remember like I don't remember what happened, but I remember he got pretty annoyed at me and like elbowed me in the back, and I just like shoved him against his table, and he ran at me and like threw me on the ground. We were like on the ground fighting like that, and his hands were over my eyes, so I couldn't really see jack shit. So I was just like throwing my fist up. I like hit him in the teeth once, I think, and the teacher broke it up, and I was pretty shaken up after that because apparently Mama wants to raise a pussy, I guess. But um, so after that, I was pretty else over it. Like you're not a very you're not supposed to be strong as a kid, but this one made me feel particularly weak. Like I said, I'm not a very big person. I'm pretty weak, or I was, but I didn't have a very large mass, so I was pretty easy to move. I was pretty easy to overpower because at the time I wasn't very strong. Like I'm not. I'm obviously not weak now, but I wasn't strong back then. And yeah, that's about the only time that I can think about the two times a fight. Uh, which is pretty like a fight can be either embarrassing or like make you feel good depending on if you win or lose. Cause like if you win the fight, you go home and you're like, oh yeah, I kicked that kid's ass. And if you lose, you're like, oh man, like I just totally humiliated myself in front of all those people. And I just like remember, I don't even know. It was like But it's just fights aren't a fun thing to be in, really. Like if you don't know that like a fight is coming, like it's hard to explain. It's like I'm not gonna explain it. It's just fights aren't fun to get into unless you're the one starting the fight because you're looking pissed off. Um, and yeah, that's the two times that I think remember getting into a fight ever at school. Yeah.